Hello, how are you? Fancy seeing you here. Hi, it's been a while. I hope you're well. Happy end of middle grade March. I had grand plans to film a TBR and fill my March reading with so many beautiful middle grade reads, and life happened. My own commitments happened. No surprises here. I was the one who signed myself up for everything. I had the lovely privilege of participating in the nonfiction BookTube Prize, and like many a reader can probably empathize with, I bit off more than I could chew, or in my mind's eye, I bit off more than I could chew, and I thought I was going to get all this nonfiction reading done as well as my beautiful stack of middle grade, and well, no videos got filmed, little to no middle grade books got read, and here I am presenting to you my crushed TBR hopes and dreams. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you my WIR. It's not as catchy as TBR, but I also wonder if it's like you've heard TBR so much, so that's why it sounds catchier. But anyway, I'm sharing what I wish I read this year for middle grade March. So you can kind of think of a wish I read as like a TBR's younger, more irresponsible sibling. It's your reader pile of hopes and dreams that are going to stay that way. It's the books that we look at and sigh and wish that we got to, but we just didn't. You get the picture, but I think that is the beauty of being a reader sometimes, is all of these little hopes and dreams that sit behind us for another day. So this is what I wish I would have read for middle grade March. I did get one book read, and it was Miracles on Maple Hill by Virginia Sorensen, which is a lovely little middle grade story that was written in the late 1950s, I believe. Yes, in 1956. It's a rural setting, it's a quiet novel, but it also deals with some deeper themes of PTSD and family dynamics after the war. It was lovely. It was so much fun to discuss this book with just a lovely group of ladies. It was my first BookTube Zoom, and I get like a little anxious about Zooms and talking to people that I've never like officially met, but like have these like parasocial relationships with, but it was so much fun, and it's like made me excited to potentially do more things like that moving forward. But I did participate in middle grade March because I read Miracles on Maple Hill. But now for my wish I read, for my TBR fail, let's get into the books that I had grand plans to read this month but just didn't happen. First one is a book that I've heard wonderful things about, and it is called Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly. This book follows a young girl. She is deaf. Synopsis basically makes her sound wicked smart, really good with technology. It sounds like fixing radios, computers, but she isn't often treated as smart as she is because of her disability. And this young girl finds connection with this whale who sings at a different frequency than the rest of its pod, and so also has a hard time connecting with the whales around him. And so it just sounds like it's her trying to help this whale connect, and how she connects because of this journey. I'm really looking forward to this. I also this month for the BookTube Prize read Fathoms, which also deals all about whales. So I would like to get to this one soon because I mean, a whale pairing, match made in heaven, absolutely. But this one is still sitting on my shelf. Gorgeous cover, right? Love that. And like I said, I've heard great things about this one. I'm excited to read it. Next is a book that I know I read in middle school. I think it was required reading for one of my classes, but I don't remember anything about it. And Katie, one of the hosts of Middle Grade March, had brought up that it was on her TBR. I'm not sure if she actually got to it this month, but that is Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor. This is a Newbery Medal Award winner, and I'm excited to re-experience this. I always find it very interesting to revisit literature that you read as a child, especially if you don't remember it, because I have no preconceived notions going into this. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. Let's see what the back says. It says, why is the land so important to Cassie's family? It takes the events of one turbulent year, the year of the Night Riders and the Burnings, the year a white girl humiliates Cassie in public simply because she is black, to show Cassie that having a place of their own is the Logan family's lifeblood. It is the land that gives the Logans their courage and pride, for no matter how others may degrade them, the Logans possess something no one can take away. That sounds fabulous. Won the Newbery in 1977. I'm excited to read this one, and I know this is what the cover looked like from the book that I read in middle school, because I saw it and I was like, oh yes, total flashback. So I thrifted this one in the month of March or February, and so I'm excited to add that to my shelf and read it eventually. The next book was one that I pulled because this was written in the 90s, which that was a prompt for middle grade March this year, to read a middle grade published in the decade that you were born. I am a 90s girl, and so that is The Thief, and this is by Megan Whalen Turner. This is book 1, I believe, in a middle grade fantasy series. It has been a really long time since I've read any fantasy, and I feel like middle grade would be a great place to kind of dip my toe back into the fantasy genre. I don't know why, but I think it's probably because it has Queen in the title, but it definitely gives me like Queen of the Tearling vibes, something about like the cover and the title, like I said, which that was a fantasy series that I really enjoyed. It was really political, so I mean, this probably is nothing like it, but I have good feelings toward it because I liked that series so much, but didn't get read. I've heard good things about the audio, so when I'm looking for maybe a fun, quick audiobook to read, this one might be the one that I pick up next, and I do know that it's a series, so if I like this one, I will have many more to pick up and enjoy. So, did not get read this month, but still one that I'm very much looking forward to. Another thrifted find, and one that just looks so whimsical and like a little different and fun and odd, is Enola Holmes, The Case of the Missing Marquess. This is book 1 in the Enola Holmes mystery series. This is a middle grade mystery series. I really enjoy mysteries. This has been adapted for a Netflix series, and it just looks like delightfully weird. The premise is that Enola Holmes is the sister to the detective Sherlock Holmes, and it's just mystery series following her. Like, I don't know, it just sounds so much fun, and I'm excited to try the series. And I've been wanting to read some mystery, and I think a middle grade mystery just sounds perfect. So while I did not get to it this month of March, I'm very much looking forward to reading it soon. And again, a good handful of books in the series, so if I like this one, I will have others to try. I'd love to know, have you read these books? They're obviously popular enough that they became a Netflix adaptation, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about them, so I'd love to know if you've read this and what your thoughts are. Yeah, this sounds like just a bucket of fun, truly. A whole bucket. Last but certainly not least, we have some contemporary middle grade, and that's Blooming at the Texas Sunrise Motel by Kimberly Willis Holt. Willis was my maiden name, so it's fun. Nice little connection, you know? This book has a lot of themes, buzzwords, tropes, if you will, that I really enjoy. In middle grade, a young girl who has experienced loss goes to live with her estranged family member, who is like an eccentric, runs a motel that has all these like different fun, quirky characters that live in it, and it's like healing and bonding with these people, found family, like so much stuff that I love, especially in middle grade. It's also like a fun shape, which makes me very intrigued to want to read this. Amanda over at the Curly Reader bought this, and I knew that I had to pick it up after I saw her talk about it, so I went out and bought it too. If Amanda buys a middle grade and wants to read it, then I'm going to want to buy that middle grade and read it too. So she has great taste and always is finding unique books that I haven't heard of in the middle grade category of books. So I'm really excited to read this one. eventually, and it seems like a great spring summer read, so I will have that to look forward to later this year. But that is my little pile of hopefuls slash failures, however you want to look at it. I tend to be a glass half full kind of girl, so we'll look at these as little hopes that I get to read later this year in 2021. But I'd love to know what you read for middle grade. Did you read anything fun? What was a book that you hoped to get to that you didn't? Make me feel better about my little pile of failures. I'd love to chat about all of that and more down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.